Nice silent intro for you all. I realize the error of my ways, but we've got sound now. No technical difficulties, just me being a noob. Not only in Street Fighter, but also here in Dota casting. We've got the last game of the day, Starladder, Season 11 Europe. Goomba Gaming, their second appearance. Virtus.Pro showing up for the first time tonight. I'm Helium, with me, Blaze. How are you doing? Hey, Blaze. Ah, Blaze, yes. Blaze, proud father. Baby Rage, guys. Can we get some Baby Rage spam for Blaze? I'm not sure if Cart Dota's here. He probably is on the stats. But here we go into the draft. You got just me. I pulled up Street Fighter over the draft. I think about 10 of you might appreciate that. But I think I'd incite massive hate threads, and I don't really want to do that. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Virtus.Pro play right now. We've got Jakiro. Going to be that first pickup. They've banned out the Brewmaster. They've banned out the Puck. Trying to take away those tempo control heroes, those great team fights, crowd controllers, the Brew, the Puck, the Brewmaster split. What is it? Primal split, Dream Coil. And Lycan taken out as some push. No Ancient Apparition either. And Goomba Gaming will go for that very strong pick, that strong support, that early space creator, the Ogre Magi. Looking for their second pick after that.
What's up?
Hey.
So, pretty good matchup here. I mean, Goomba would probably be definitely the underrated ones by comparison. Virtus.Pro have been looking pretty strong after all. And they do have two stand-ins, not just Exist this time, but also Fire. So we'll have to see what Goomba Gaming can do with those fellows. But already go for a very unorthodox draft here. I mean, Legion Commander is not a hero that you often see picked up very early on. She's not that dominant in the metagame, and there are a decent amount of ways to counteract her prime focus, which is getting those duels. I mean, that's why she really is involved, is to lock people down, to dish out some damage, and occasionally blast some AoE. But we've got Jakiro already. That's pretty decent answer to the Legion. As far as the duels, you know where she's going to be standing, so positioning isn't an issue. And they can follow that up with maybe something like a Skywrath, which could make things difficult before she gets the BKB or Blade Mail.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of the Legion on the first 2 days of the big European stint of Dota here in Starladder. Hero's been doing exceptionally well. The bottle and the press the attack regen, it's gnarly. Virtus.Pro now looking for their second hero after the Jakiro. We saw Jakiro Phoenix already today. I don't think they'd unveil that in their first two picks, but maybe we see it again here. What do you want to see paired with the Jakiro? I mean, I know it's super early in the draft. It doesn't have to be what's reasonable. What do you want to see with this Jakiro?
I think Faces Void has a lot of potential. Skywrath Mage was what I already talked about for the Legion counter, so I'm pretty happy about that. The big thing he has to worry about is getting too close to the Legion. Obviously, he's probably one of the best duel targets because you make sure that he's not going to be Mystic Flaring the duel, and as well, he's very, very squishy. But assuming he could avoid those engagements, then they can be in a pretty good spot here, and it's going to be a good duo, whether it's the supports or not. Yeah, so, I mean, Faces Void still works out pretty well with both of these guys. I think he'll probably be banned out by Goomba Gaming in Phase 2, though.
Twitch chat, Blaze is ignoring Helium. Nice. I had some Baby Rage spam for you as well. So
excellent.
Hopefully you'll like it, yeah. Vengeful Spirit is the ban out there. Support we've been seeing a lot of. And I feel like this really opens the door for a Batrider pick on Goomba. Like, they have the Legion, and now that the Venge has been banned out, like, only the Abaddon is really left.
I feel like Batrider serves a very similar purpose to Legion Commander. Obviously, it depends if you run the core Legion or like carry, or if you run in the offlane. But generally speaking, like we see Bone 7.
If you did the Batrider, Legion would be middle.
Okay, I mean, I can see it, but they're just really lacking, like, AoE team fight. Then they're all about pickoffs, and sometimes it's hard to put all your eggs in one basket there. But, yeah, I've seen, like, Bone 7 Legion. I think he plays it very similarly to the Batrider. Obviously, don't get to play around cliffs as much, but you still get to counter push very well, and you get to sometimes farm the jungle up actively, and it's all about the singular pickoffs where you disable somebody and keep them locked in a certain position. So I would have to say that I don't like the idea of Bat and Legion combining their forces, but I could see it working in some situations, just not ideally. Here we have the ban out of Dazzle as well, so they're actually banning out heroes that would keep the Legion alive. It almost seems like they want duels to go the other way. They're looking at heroes that are keeping the Legion alive, keeping the Legion fighting, and saying, hey, screw you, we're going to kill you very quickly. So We might be seeing some hot, heavy burst damage, maybe even a Necrophos out of this next pick for Virtus.Pro, or next 2 picks.
Are any of the players in this game Norwegian by chance?
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I know there's a lot of Germans on Goomba. I know that, obviously, Virtus.Pro is primarily CIS.
Too bad, because we could have had the Norwegian Legion.
That's not even... No.
Stop shooting me down, Blaze.
Just no. Just no. It's been all day, man. It's been,
That's the only
it's
reason
been a
I
long
cast
day.
is just to say stupid stuff.
No doubt. But, yeah, no, it's been a nice long day of Dota. Some extended pauses, really making it difficult to keep it together, but it's always nice to keep it going with you, man. And now we're into phase 2 of our final draft for the day. Legion-based drafts. Obviously, the multicast is already going to give them some nice potential. Ogre is great for laning, so they're going to have a fun time with that. Still could go for, if you want a mid or a safe lane Legion, then could go for an offlaner like Tide. Very strong against the heroes that you see, because in general, Ravage is really good, and he's not going to get disabled. You can't silence the Tide in the sense that you can't prevent him from ravaging because of the Kraken shell. So you might be delayed for a little while, but that's about it. Either way, I'm curious what Goomba goes as far as their defensive supports, because obviously that's a priority here. Tide is going to be the pickup, and that works out pretty well. It is going to be off-lane Tide, and Legion will be taking a lane elsewhere. But I think that I might need to look to something like a Shadow Demon or something to play defensively, because I'm really feeling like, even if they don't go for the Necrophos, Virtus.Pro is looking for something that will do heavy amounts of damage that requires a quick reaction. Because Nether Swap and Shallow Grave, the 2 heroes that were banned out, yes, I called them heroes despite listing their skills, those heroes are really good at reacting to, like, big damage situations. So I'm thinking either the Faceless Void or the Necrophos will come out, and I think you need a reactive support like an Earthshaker, or, and since you already have a melee support, a Shadow Demon.
Reserve time.
All right, well, unfortunately the Dazzle's banned out, so no dazzling plays for this game. Third hero to be picked up now. Definitely looking... I guess you could do the core Jakiro, the offlane Jakiro. We've seen a whole lot of. There's been a lot of dead twin-headed dragons today. I mean, it's just a couple of them starting off the game. I think we had 3 start off like 0 and 3 or 0 and 5, and then, you know, they did actually recoup later on once they got involved in the team fights. Hero is pretty good, but not very escapable when run in the offlane, and actually Virtus.Pro will go ahead and pick up that Death Prophet, so adding a bit of push to their lineup, and push or team fight, I guess, depending on how you choose to use those very precious exorcisms.
Yep, the Ogre has a decent amount of base armor, but otherwise the Exorcism Spirits will be doing a lot of damage to the team as a whole there. The Kraken Shell won't be negating their damage whatsoever, and it's just really good to be push-focused in this metagame. Jakiro and Death Prophet together will be able to absolutely demolish towers. There's very little that the tower itself can do to withstand, so you're popping a lot of fortifications or sooner than you'd like to, and then you're going to have to defend. So it really comes down to, if there's ever a fight that is won by Virtus.Pro without the Exorcism, like if the Ravage is on cooldown because of a solo kill or even a double kill, if they can rebound off of that with an Exorcism and there's no Ravage to worry about, towers are just going to drop. You can take 2 in a single sweep like that.
Maybe get your favorite Lich with some ice armor. Keep those towers up.
I mean...
That's like, not serious, for
yeah.
For the record.
I like to try to justify things like that, but unless I see it, I'm not really going to be putting up with your stuff anymore, man. It's just too much.
Maybe if like the push doesn't come through, maybe a Treant, but I don't think you really have a slot. Ogre Treant support roaming with one of them boots first actually sounds pretty terrifying, despite them both being melee. But here we'll find Ogre Magi will be played alongside the Witch Doctor, which is going to be the 4th pick. So fantastic! Like, you've got a lot of team fight control with the leveled up paralyzing cask. You find a duel to Ravage, someone stunned out, drop the Death Ward. I mean, a good Ravage is going to mean a pretty decent channeling time for a Death Ward. If Witch Doctor finds his levels, that's a pretty scary team fight right now for Goomba.
Yeah, I think that the Void is still a very powerful pick here for Virtus.Pro. Could also consider a Drow Ranger. Obviously, it won't get the Visage combo, but You do have a lot of ranged heroes that could benefit a lot from the damage output. Death Prophet would absolutely destroy her lane with that aura. That being said, Legion and Tide can close the gap pretty quickly, and she turns very squishy then. So it's just an idea. I don't think it's probably going to be very effective in practice. Earthshaker's going to be their pickup here, and no matter what duo of supports, probably the Sky Earthshaker that we're looking at, they're going to be able to react to situations very effectively, breaking them apart by Fissure. It is worth noting that they still get cliff walking, so they can walk right over the terrain change of the Fissure and keep on fighting. But if you get the stun out early, long range, you can disrupt a Death Ward, which in a position where you would think it would be safe to channel, and in general just cause a lot of grief with a very heavy lockdown support.
Yeah, Spectre going to be banned out as a very late game potential there for Goomba Gaming. Like, they see the team fight and the fact that Goomba could probably hold on for a while. So, what?
Yeah.
The #1 Mushi ban.
I saw that Timbersaw ban, and I'm like, that has to be indicating something. It has to be indicating a third strength hero, because you're not that afraid of Timbersaw without having a third strength hero involved. I was thinking Doom, but this is better.
I mean, it's better. But is it better if you're actually looking for the victory here?
I think so. Something that they're not expecting could be really sweet. What can Jakiro, Skywrath, and Earthshaker really do to a Huskar, right?
Skywrath's going to die so many times.
Like, I think you have to have like an Agadam's Rush Doom here or something. Like, how do you actually counter this guy? He's going to have an Armlet, maybe some Lifesteal. They go with the Omni Knight. I like that. Has a lot of potential to make things work, and the Purification is pure damage Duke.
There's no agility heroes in this game. 5 strength, 5 intelligence.
Who needs them? But yeah, it's a similar reason to the reason the Timbersaw was banned, which is he does pure damage, which Huskar does not mitigate via Berserker's Blood. And the Omni Knight does have Purification. Who they're going to be purifying, like anybody's guess. Maybe the Earthshaker. I guess he has to leap them, right? He always is going to initiate with his life break, so he's going to be in melee range. I think the Omni Knight is a good counter pick in that regard. But BZZ is currently picking up, and I think this is core Omni.
This is going to be a game right here.
Your Ags Refresher type Omni Knight, and Earthshaker and Skywrath are going to be your supports. Sadoy with the offlane. Dude, I love this game. I love this draft. This is new meta shit.
This is game of the day, guaranteed already. Already, it's been the best game of the day.
I really do. I think that the Huskar can do a lot, but I think the Omni Knight can do even more. I am really excited to see what these core heroes do.
Yeah, and I mean, Omni Knight as a core hero, like, it sounds like it would be so good, but generally
it is. People underrate it. I've played it so bit. Like, okay, I would exaggerate saying a dozen times, but like 7 or 8 times. People flame it for the first 10 to 15 minutes insanely hard. And then I start wrecking people, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll let you go Blink Dagger first, solo mid Omni Knight."
Blink Dagger's where it's at, but it's had limited success as a core hero in, I think, the farming, the 1 role.
Offlane works fine.
Yeah,
but
offlane is where I've seen the most success with it. I guess unless maybe PPD or some other support players are playing the ultra defensive Omni Knight, it has worked out for a few teams here and there. But I'm extremely excited. I'd love to see it in the core role a lot more. You get those big items. You get that dedicated farm. If you start off really well, get a Midas, so you guarantee the decent Ags Refresher. And we've seen maybe not time and time again, but about every time an Omni Knight pops up, the Ags Refresher into the late game is actually the strongest mechanic besides probably Ags Refresher on the Reaper Scythe for Necrophos.
This hero can certainly carry games, and it's not the right-click BS that people try to put in. It's like,
that's
Abaddon
actually the worst
build. Right-click heroes. Well, yeah, sure, but you can also do a lot of better things with different items. Like, yes, you can go Scotty, Sanjin Yasha, Daedalus, or whatever the hell they go. Mjolnir. But end of the day, you're going to give your team the most utility via the usage of your ultimate, and for that you need maybe to guarantee it with BKB, and then you use Agadams, and I don't care if it's fun. This is legit. We're talking about legitimate builds for competitive games. And I think BKB, Agadam's Refresher, Blink Dagger is what BZZ would want on this Omni Knight here.
All right. Well, he's level 1 and 0 experience for now as game is paused.
Yeah, indeed. Lincoln Sphere is also pretty good this game. The Life Break, the Duel, hell, even some Ogre spells. I think Lincoln's plus Repel is pretty legit already. But in this game, it would be really strong. I've actually contemplated the idea of just rushing out a Lincoln Sphere on Omni Knight and seeing how it goes, because you can put it on other That's gotta be a bot drawing
That's
that line.
just sketch mini map.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. You can get macros to draw on the mini map.
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah, I think so. Repel, or sorry, the Lincoln's, Link Dagger, Aghanim's, Refresher, and BKB are all the items that I come up with. If I see a Sanjin Yasha, I'm just quitting.
Yeah, Sanjin Yasha is the worst. That's the one build that doesn't work out. Everyone is trying to replicate. Who is it doing that? The Huskar RMN with the macro. And I think
Are you talking armlet stuff or what?
No,
Macro?
the drawing on the minimap. Everyone was trying
I
to do the perfect little squares.
Yeah,
and
he was drawing. He was drawing.
failing miserably. All right, let's see.
Here we go. One of the most exciting draft combos, and we are well underway. So
Yeah, let's get to it. Goomba here on the Dire. They've got Chill on the Tide Hunter. Something that no one is going to have the luxury of doing. Chilling in this game with these hero pickups. Fire, what a name for an Ogre Magi player. He'll go boots first into the offlane for now. But with no wards, you got to expect that he's staying here. So it's going to be a 2-1-2 more than likely. Exists showing up in the middle lane for Goomba as their stand-in. I like it. I'm really liking the prospects that hero has for the middle lane right now. We've seen it over the last few days. RMN on the Huskar, one of the players we're really looking at to make those plays. He'll go boots of speed, even just to chase people down with the burning spears. And it's going to be both of the trolls from the Nothal realm here. Unless Witch Doctor was not in that, and it was just
I don't
Dazzle.
think so. I think Witch Doctor is a lot more mundane than the
Damn it.
Dazzle and the Huskar.
I
But
wanted to go for the lore reference extraordinaire, but oh well.
just call them brothers in blood. But that's about it. They got similar masks going on. Like you look at the headset the Witch Doctor's running. It's not too far off. Huskar's
Picking for
trophy there.
fashion.
So, if nothing else, they've got that in common.
Yeah, I knew Dazzle. I wasn't sure about Witch
The
Doctor.
battle begins.
So we see Invisrum will come out for Chill on the Tide. It goes for that Stout Shield build, so you can expect a point in Gush by level 4. And of course, the other rune was denied, so don't get to see the bounty in action.
Oh well, no 50 gold or whatever. It's 50 experience. I'm not sure quite the gold. I'd guess 50 as well.
50, yeah.
Oh, Virtus.Pro here. We've got Sedoy on the offlane. We've been seeing him play some very flashy heroes in the offlane. He'll get one that's not quite as flashy. It's Jakiro for him right now. The middle lane is going to be G, also known as God there, with that awesome, one of my favorite Death Prophet cosmetics with that mask, that veil. Yol going to be supporting on the Earthshaker bottom lane, where we're going to find some aggression already. Jottam on the Skywrath Mage could have a very tough time this game. And BZZ, the player to watch, or rather the hero to watch here for Virtus.Pro. The Omni Knight.
Oh, I think Huskar might have that beat just a little
Well,
bit
for this
there,
team, it's like it's Omni Knight versus Huskar for as far as
Pretty
I'm
much.
concerned.
Yeah, so they're going to take a lot of harassment here on the top lane, but a nice little fish are going to disrupt that combo, and he is going to be hurting for regen a little bit here. Like, he went for boots only, which means he doesn't have that much raw HP, and also he doesn't have any points in Berserker's Blood just yet, so he still takes full damage from spells, or at least the 75% damage. But anyways, yeah, starting things off, we've got Goomba Gaming here. Active on the mid lane, you've got Exist. He's, of course, rocking the Legion Commander there. The bottle is on route, and the Frosty Attack already is healing him up nicely. On the bottom lane, we're seeing the combo of... Wait, you already did all this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, we've got to tell me when we double up on the intros there, because I kind of just got...
Well, you weren't saying... well, I guess you were kind of saying the names. I don't know. I wasn't sure where I was going. I was just tuning in. Blaze, that voice, Craigasm.
I don't know which voice that is.
Yours.
Okay.
You talk, and I just
I'll take
listen.
So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game here. Worthless regen rune spawning here at the 2-minute mark, so that's a little sad. But Earthshaker's pretty happy with that bounty rune. I love that sound effect.
Oh, the
Exist?
first blood! Again,
No.
going to be saved. Yol with the nice stun. Stopping the aggression from Exist as he had bottled up.
But it's going to be bottom. Jottam in some trouble here. He does have his full movement speed, though. The Ignite wearing off, and he does have a 325 base. So he's going to manage it, and that's very nice indeed not to be feeding things away. The BZZ needs his support crew. So we will have just a Sav and a Clarity up for him so that he will be back in the action here. Chill going for the 101 build, though. The Stout Shield, a pretty big indicator of that.
Yeah, I thought he might anyways. Like, there's not too much right click to be had on him this lane, and he wants to get the Gush so that they can chase down with the Gush Ignite slows and get the right clicks. And If you're killing anybody, it's probably going to be Jotum, but Omni Knight is pretty low on mana. He's getting very close to finishing the Soul Ring, and he came to the lane with the recipe, so he can complete that at the side shop. Now Chill in a little bit of trouble. BZZ wants to get in there, but he doesn't have the 180 pure damage, so I think Chill might just be able to run out of this. And look at this rotation in the mid lane. Actually, Chill still in a little bit of danger. I think he's going to be fine. Do they want to turn it around? We got to go mid. There's going to be the first blow. We don't want to miss it. Exist. Running away. Will it be the first blood, though? There's a right click coming in from Yol. It's not enough. Down to about 30-some HP from Exist, and where's the mana, though? The mana might actually get here.
Yeah,
I think Yol's in for the long haul. This should be the first blood. Don't miss it. Can't target it on heroes anymore. Yol, though, will still find the first blood.
And then Tide will suicide to the Ancients here. So that's going to be a miskill as far as the scoreboard goes, but it is going to be up top lane. So Doi taking a lot of damage here. RMN doing a lot of harassment with these searing arrows, but
he's
getting
dead. No, maybe I overreact. It's close.
It is close, but the Tango helps. The Tango will keep them up. It is, after all, 2 points in Searing Chains. But I want to comment on the build already seen from RMN here. He is going for Morbid Mask to start. Might turn that into Dominator. I certainly hope it's not a Mask of Madness, but it is going to be at least a casual Morbid Mask for now. And the big thing here is that the unique attack modifier attribute of Burning Spears no longer exists. He can lifesteal even with the Burning Spears on. Obviously doesn't generate HP from the magical effect, but from the right clicks themselves. And he certainly attacks fast when he's low HP. And that tends to be when you want the lifesteal the most. So naturally, he's going to be in a pretty good spot here. I think he'll go for a 1-2-2 build, so he still gets extra heals elsewhere from the Inner Vitality, but it depends how really aggressive he wants to be with the Burning Spears. Otherwise, you could argue a 0-3-2 build. In either case, probably a lifesteal item into an armlet build, and this will allow him to get very active very early.
All right, Ogre Fire trying to make his rotation. He did start in the off lane again with the Tide Hunter. I guess they found the space they wanted down there, and he'll rotate over towards mid. They're going to go here onto God. No level 6 yet for Exist. He's just at 5, and the Invis will get G back to safety, playing that Death Prophet, about to max out that Crypt Swarm here in 1 or 2 more levels. 2-0 on the scoreboard, well, really just 1-0 for VP. The free trip back to base for Tide being tallied up. Where is he now? He's dealing with Jotum again, trying to just harass him
down. Up top, Sadoi taking a lot of auto attacks from these Burning Spears, and he is going to be going down for sure. RMN life-stealing, damage over time. The Voodoo Restoration is just enough, but the last auto attack will punch him down. Yol jumping up past level 4 here and getting a very high-value kill on that Huskar. Still, it cost them the Jakira's life, and Huskar just feels the strength to man up, as well as buying that Belt of Strength. Give him a little bit more HP to work with. So coming back to the lane with full HP, and actually went for a 0-2-3 build, which is the inverse of what I was talking about. Down bottom, the Tide will fall. The safe repel onto Jotum, so they don't have to worry about the Ignite. And with this Degen Aura, Fire has to be careful as well.
So much work. 10% slow, 10% attack slow as well. It really keeps people in your grasp and just keep hitting them down. It's kind of funny that they pick up the hero with the hammer, similar to what Mario might pick up to smash some Goombas with, but there it is, Omni Knight with that hammer.
Excellent. But up top is going to be Sadoi, taking some hits again. They did go for the cash to set this up, but it looks like he'll survive. He gets a Tango pull to him, so he certainly should. Yeah. And along with that, of course, you have to consider the potential of Omni Knight to go for an Orb of Venom here. If he gets an Orb of Venom plus that Degen Aura, he can just keep people locked down, Kraken Shell or not. They don't escape very easily. He will go for a Heal Bomb as well onto Chill. He has a lot of Soul Ring mana to work with, so it's not a big concern. But you also have to keep in mind the Degen Aura does push out your lane a little bit, and you don't want to be next to the creep wave too often with that aura on you. Beyond that, he's going to be going for the Phase Boots here, so mobility will be solved, Blink Dagger or not.
All right, and there's some item stats coming up about the Huskar. None of them looking too great. The 45% item choice looking a little bit better, but here's Witch Doctor pulling out a smoke. Gonna actually TP back up towards the top lane. Maybe try to find another kill. Not gonna leave RMN by himself. The treads are here. Huskar might want to look potentially for a magic wand or something. Just a little extra healing besides the attacks coming out from the Morbid Mask.
Yeah, he doesn't need mana is one big thing, so it's just a kind of a weak heal here. I prefer stats over anything else, so finishing up anything that will give him a little bit of strength. But no matter the case, it is just a small 200 gold investment, so it's still very possible. A big thing here is he didn't have to go for the Inner Vitality 1-point wonder. early because he has this 2 points of Voodoo Restoration behind him. The Witch Doctor is always going to be near the Huskar to keep him up and active, and that means he's not at much risk since his Berserker's Blood gives him so much. His next skill point will be onto the Burning Spears, and here he goes.
Yeah, Chill was almost dying there in the Tidehunter with bottom lane. Here's the Macro Pyre that he will be standing in. I don't care what level of Voodoo Restoration you have. He's not going to be living up through that. It'll go 1 for 1, trading out those heroes. Again, and now God in the middle lane exists. I think, I thought he was running it for the duel. Ogre was there. Still might not have had the damage to win the duel, and now bottom lane, Chill gets back close in range, and BZZ, even with the Degen Aura trying to chase down, has not actually gone for the Orb of Venom. I'm very surprised. It's another, 12% slow there off a melee to chase down, but he won't go for it. Fire TP's in, saves the life of the Tidehunter, but running all the way back to base. He's fairly poor with 2 deaths, only level 5 here at 8 minutes as well.
Yep, he seems to value his inventory slots quite substantially. These branches are going to turn into a magic wand, and then eventually you're going to be filling up those 2 other slots. So he's looking for bigger and better things. Orb of Venom is a very casual and short-term pickup, unless you look for a Scotty, which seems kind of ridiculous for him. Anyways, the Huskar went very suicidal there. I'm not so sure about his movements there, especially the fact that he kept burning spears on for so long. Like, even when the Jakiro kill was guaranteed, he kept on detracting 15 HP from his own life pool to get more overkill stacks on the Jakiro instead of just surviving a moment longer. I think he actually, if he hadn't kept on doing the burning spears, only did it like 2 or 3 times and then just did regular auto attacks, he probably would have died after the Jakiro instead of before. So Jakiro gets the experience, Huskar does not, and it's more YOLO plays like that that'll lose a lot of momentum for this hero. After all, as many strength heroes are, he is unable to really flash farm creep waves, only single target.
Well, don't worry, no agility heroes to flash farm anything on the other side either. As again, I know we said it on the draft, but 5 strength and 5 intelligence here, so this is definitely a very unique game of Dota 2. Yeah, stun on Yol. He'll find an even nicer stun. Unfortunately, the likely kill is the Ogre. He's sort of segregated there by the magma cliff, and Chill wasn't in much danger. Soon to be level 6, the Ravage will be online. Might be harder to fight into, but right now, like, look at this Death Prophet. He's got 1 assist, 64 last hits, 8 denies. Nothing crazy like Spiders or Idolize or Treants to inflate those numbers either. He's just last hitting everything. 4,300 net worth. Huskar not too far behind that at 41. Ogre 3,800, and actually killing the bottom lane. It'll be on Tidehunter, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting worried for Goomba Gaming, honestly.
Yeah, I think that their draft is a little gimmicky, and they're not finding the gimmicks just yet. They're not getting the kills where Armin walks away and laughs, and we're not seeing the duels just yet. They're losing their lanes to a small degree, but still losing. And down bottom, there's so much kill potential. I mean, obviously, the down bottom, the time where the Ogre stunned the Earthshaker, that would have been a kill if that Fire Blast hadn't come through. The Fisher would have blocked the tide, and he would have fallen. The nice movement from Ogre saves him once, but doesn't save him the second time around. And now they're exercising the bottom tower. They've got 2 headed that way. Yol and Jotum, Arcane Boots up, and they can help to support this Exorcism push on the bottom lane. First Repel, trying to get him out, and it looks like that will work fine. Drum's already online.
Yep, Drum's going to get delivered by the faithful courier, the Husky. And let's see. This is actually going to run out the Exorcism. It does put a lot of damage on the tower. They'll probably get it here. They're going to commit everyone. They keep throwing up the repels. There are 3 points in that, so there's only 4 seconds of downtime between each repel, which is going to be really nice. There's a pretty good cask being thrown out here by Edie. He'll drop the Death Ward. Sadoy in a lot of trouble with the heal bomb. Now the Ravage is going to land on 2. But they can't do anything about it. Now the repel comes out. Wasn't quite needed, but might as well be safe rather than sorry. Crypt Swarm will bring down the Tidehunter. God starting to find some kills. 1, 0, and 1 right now. Another Crypt Swarm coming out. Another kill. It's a double for the Death Prophet. And I'm not making this up. Every time I cast this guy, he goes beyond godlike.
Yeah, already doing some good work here. Well set up by his team, though. Obviously, there was the big repel to start it off, and they just keep the heals coming. I'm kind of surprised that the Huskar didn't grab a TP and rotate to try to stop that dive, because that was a lot of lost life that they probably could have prevented with his help.
With a life break.
He slow pushes the top, and they get the deny on that tower anyways, though he does finish farming his armlet. So actually, I believe he had he got the Dominator, and then he disassembled it to get the armlet, and that gives him that brilliant combo. The armlet, treads, and Morbid Mask is really all you need to get extremely offensive. 1 point of Inner Vitality at level 9, perhaps, and he'll be all set.
Do you go
he goes for Berserkers, so 1 more level. Level 10, he'll be all set.
Then level 11, 2 points on the life break. I have no idea how this ability even scales.
It used to scale a lot differently.
Not very well, but I guess it's similar to what Earth Splitter, where you just have that percentage, 35%, 35% dealt and taken. So, all right, scaling minimally with the slow. So a bit. Actually, honestly, I would say worth not getting. Leave it at rank 1. Maybe put stats
Max
or inner vitality.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It used to scale a lot differently and a lot better, but now it's not that valuable, I would say. You get the baseline 12-second cooldown, 35% damage, and you take the same amount of damage. It used to deal a different amount of damage to you at each rank, but now, obviously, it scales as it does. So we're going to see a nice heal bomb attempt on RMN. He's looking as an opportunity to just life break, but doesn't find the range just yet. Not as mobile.
The spell yet. But here's the wraparound from the side. BZZ, the Force Staff, tried to get him out of dodge. That's his own. That was his choice. But the duel comes out through that repel. They're not going to have the physical damage to win this. Will they turn it around? No, it's a draw. Now the GA comes out. They're fighting around the Macro Pirates, doing so much damage. And the Ogre is going to fall here now. BZZ in a bit of trouble. Going to try to run through. He's got to heal. He's going to have to heal up right there. That'll bring down the Huskar. That's pure damage. It's actually a pretty neat counter to the hero. And now Chill comes through with the Force Staff to try to dodge. He was chasing the chain reaction of tentacles, or rather the tentacles were chasing him, but he can't get out of dodge in time. But another great Fisher from Yul. We've seen so many this game, and God going to look to chase this down. The press the attack, the heal coming out from the Witch Doctor. Actually, Cryptstorm will miss the auto attack, and the Ghost, are the Ghosts going to go in for it? No, he lives with about 50 to 60 HP, and will retreat while also buying up that Blink Dagger, looking to spend his gold before he thought he was maybe going to go down, and also got top of the net worth. Huskar doing also quite well. The armlet is finished. He's going to have that smoke. Bought it himself, even.
Yep, so, yeah, we'll have to see if he goes for the Roche play here. It's definitely possible to do with the lifesteal that he has, but they do have a nice ward up here by the secret shop, so it's possible he goes in vision before the smoke, and that would be not so good. But he's going to go for the bottom lane right now, just keeping the smoke on him, and maybe just smoking for a solo kill on somebody. The Omni Knight doesn't have his Guardian Angel, though he does have Repel against the damage over time.
Force Staff. Like heal, Force Staff, repel yourself, and like keep running with the degen where you got the movement speed advantage. I don't think he finds it.
Force Staff while he's in mid-leap, and he'll be drawn into a really bad spot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, for now, he's just going to be annoying and heal the creep wave. And he doesn't have that inner vitality. Like, he literally has 1 HP with Armored off. It's weird. I think he wanted this, though. He was intentionally reducing his HP to some extent. And I think there was a play involved in it where he wants his HP to be as low as possible. We have the mid lane.
Yeah, there was definitely a conscious thought to do that because he dropped the smoke in the woods, took the damage, went back and got it. Now they smoke up. He's going to be attacking so fast when he toggles back on. He'll jump straight onto the Omni. I saw that the heal was used trying to deal with this. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, though, and what a Fisher Ice Path combination. The disruption from these supports is pretty unreal, and G will go down to the Death Wards. Channeling that up from the high ground is Edie and Virtus.Pro. This is a really, really big fight, and the plays are indeed being made right now. 10-10, going to even up the scoreboard right there with 4 kills, 4-0. And the conscious play to lose that HP and smoke up. A good one by RMN. They'll go straight into the Roshan afterwards, and, well, I was getting worried for Goomba. Now, definitely with a great fighting chance here.
Yeah, the way the ultimate used to work for life break on Huskar, it used to be like at 50% for both sides, and that used to be really good for Huskar because low HP is insanely good for this hero. But in this case, it only takes 35% away. I kind of felt like it was a bit of a nerf. Like they're trying to put him back into a role where he works and fits well in the game. But one issue he has is just his HP doesn't get low enough. He's a hero that actually needs low HP to be offensive. And in this case here, they played it perfectly. They get him down to 1 HP, then go wrap around and get the initiation they need to. The Ice Path of Fisher was still really, really good, but it wasn't good enough to control the Huskar. He was able to clean it up since there was no exorcism, and yeah, the GA's only delayed the inevitable. Now our man taking a lot of damage here, but the magic damage means nothing. It's got to be the pure damage nuke to bring him down. Brings him low, but he armlet toggles through. He's still alive, and he's turning it back around onto BZZ. There's the repel, there's the Guardian Angel, and there is the death of the Aegis of the Immortal.
Is that worth it, though? Throwing out the GA just to deny that Aegis. Sure, you take away some of the crazy plays that would have been available to RMN and Goomba starting a team fight with that Aegis, but now, can you even team fight if you don't have the GA?
Space traded up top. They got the duel on the Death Prophet, and they got a winner stack from that. So I would say that it is completely not worth it for Virtus.Pro They lose their GA cooldown, they lose their Death Prophet's life, and they give another duel away. And now it's the blinking and slamming time. RMN picking up a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and you mentioned slamming, so I check Earthshaker. He's actually pretty close to his blink as well. Yo's played a great game. 2-1-6, involved in 8 of those 10 kills. A lot of them very, very clutch. Actually, real quick, chill in the bottom lane. Ho-ho! Just don't need a blink for that one. We'll walk in. I think they're going to clean him up. RMN just needs to back off, throw one more attack. Some pure damage at the heal coming in for Yol, but that's another winner. Now up to, I believe, 38 damage. Yeah, it is 38. Exet's going to try to move away here. I think he's falling. Yeah, pretty hard to escape that.
Yeah, they need
down a little bit.
Now,
and with that Exorcism pop so close to the tower, very likely this tier 2 tower will fall. Ravage has 10,
make it worth
and they do have
Exorcism.
Glyph.
Well, they got the Liquid Fire, so the tower dies so quickly to the Exorcism. They can't defend itself. Even the Fortification is not going to be enough to keep it alive here. But they did need this tier 2 tower. The Exorcism alone wasn't worth the kill that they probably would have already gotten on the Legion. And honestly, it's a huge cooldown this game, because the only way they kill the Huskar is through Purification nukes or Exorcism. They're not going to do it through auto attacks. They're not going to do it through spells. So Exorcism is a big cooldown because it's half their arsenal in terms of gunning down this Huskar. Either way, they bring the gold graph back towards even, the experience graph in Goomba's favor still. So Goomba not looking too bad after their past few skirmishes. They're looking for another blink play. They already have the Bloodlust and Vitality onto the Huskar, and he's looking for a jump play, but they're too clustered together. Can't single anybody out.
2 more blinks to the rosters. 1 on Tidehunter, 1 on the Earthshaker. Blinking and slamming, blinking and ravaging. Blink to the life break to the blink. It's going to be pretty crazy. There's also Yule Scepter up on Jakiro. He's tired of maybe being focused. Wants to throw the Ice Path, Macro Pyre, put himself up in the air. Also used offensively to catch people, cancel TPs and whatnot. Good item. Very popular in Jakiro. I'm sure everyone watching has seen enough of Jakiro and Yule Scepters to understand why it's good.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when they're going to be able to actually look to bring down... Oh, actually, he's looking for the blink play right now, going right on him. He does get the last hit on the tower, but he will die very quickly thereafter.
Caster's Curse.
Mid.
Talking about God, always going godlike. He might be brought down to negative KDA in this game. He dies again, and in the mid lane, we will see all those abilities being thrown out here by VP. Will Net the kill on exist? Does he give away any damage? Quickly checking everyone.
No, the duel
no, it was a draw.
Ended in a draw, and they will just heal Sadoy up. The Repel kept him alive there. Very nice play from BZZ. And as far as his unbuild, he is going for the Aghanims right after Force Staff, so very, very solid build. He had me worried for a second, but that we see the Scotty build or something.
Oh, or even Bloodstone. You see the Soul Ring and the Point Booster together.
It's true, it's true.
I think every Soul Ring... No, we saw Zeus. We thought he was going to go Bloodstone, and he turned it into a
Bloodstone,
Soul Ring.
I could justify Bloodstone. The Scotty, I would be pissed off, because although I love Scotty as an item, it's not Omni's
So what you're saying is you'd be the most happy, the happiest rather, if you built S and Y?
Exactly what I'm saying. We've got a blink jump on G here forthcoming. The toss absolutely no mana, so he can go right on in, and the Yules only delays it. Without an Omni TP, he doesn't get the repel, but he is surviving just barely enough. The VIP booster, the drums, he has the HP to work with, and he won't be willing to tower dive. So they force him back off the land, they force him to low HP, but he doesn't have any more mana for his inner vitality.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely slowing him down. He was top of the net worth by a decent margin for what is in the early game. He's 8.7 net worth, 9.3 though on the Huskar. So Huskar after that smoke play, transitioning that into the Roshan, he got so much out of that. He's 6-3-3, involved in 9 of these 13 kills, and just absolutely turning this game around for his team. I was worried he'd be almost completely countered by the Omni Knight, but not so far. Can you hear my dog barking, by the way?
I cannot, so you're good
Nice.
there.
That's why I bought this microphone, guys.
But one thing to note is the Aghanims is going to be complete soon on the Omni Knight, as well as the Witch Doctor, and I think that kind of counteracts the Witch Doctors pretty nicely, the Guardian Angel. We do see G getting the damage out here after the stun. The Crypt Storm does nothing, but the right clicks are still there, trying to armlet toggle through, but they will dunk him, they will slam him, and he will be jammed. Tidehunter getting lifted up here, has Ravage, but probably doesn't want to pop it against 2 here, and is just going on the run. The Witch Doctor, there's the Ravage turnaround. It is not agged up, but it's still getting kills.
Yep, nice use of the Ravage. There's a buyback if Huskar wants to use it, and just as I say it, he does. He goes for it. Now back to the team fight where the Ogre is going to fall. Jumping in with the blink from the Tier 2 middle tower right onto Sadoy. He knows he's going to burn to death. He switches his target over to Jottam. Everyone else can work on Sadoy. Witch Doctor, boom. One right click, no problem. Double kill for Edie after the great ultimate. And the blink forward, and he's gone.
I don't think you get him either way. Just the amount of time it takes to kill him. He has essentially in Fountain after that TP. He would have to get, I think, 5 stacks of the Burning Spear. So, tough game. And 29-minute Aghanims is a near record for this Omni Knight. And he's getting it a lot sooner than that. It's a big deal because there is no Dispel on the side of Goomba Gaming. So unless they're able to like catch him in a Ravage Fire Blast or a duel, he's going to be able to get that off whenever he wants to. And that's going to make it very difficult for Witch Doctor to do much with the Death Ward. They can always just GA when the Death Ward comes out. And although the cooldowns aren't even close to the same, to get a really good Death Ward off, it usually takes about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, I was worried that maybe Goomba were being overzealous trying to bring down those Ancients while sort of in both enemy Ancients and enemy territory. They're going to jump in with a duel through the Repel Life Break as well. I don't think they can have the right clicks to win. It's enough, and Skywrath has no chance. He just blows up immediately after the fact. Yule's up. This is an offensive one into the Macro Pyre. A lot of magic damage, a lot of physical too, as the Exorcism is going to get popped. A big silence on 2-3. God, going to go ahead and give chase with this. He's 4-3-4 right now, looking to make it 5. We'll bring down fire. Press the attack is not going to be enough to keep him up. ED in the tree line. They might notice it because of what the Exorcism spirits are doing, but or Sadoy, we'll just find him. Ice Path going to be laid down. Dual Breath, and he's dead.
Got him. So a nice initiation there. They needed to jump on the Omni Knight with a duel to prevent the Guardian Angel, and they barely got him. Like I would have to say that was definitely after 4 seconds of duel, but maybe within the 4.75. Anyways, they bring both down after some spread focus, and they are able to get both the Skywrath and Omni Knight out of the fight entirely. But this is not putting them back in the game. The Huskar buying back and now dying, it's dropped down his net worth considerably. The Omni Knight is actually almost catching him. So there's going to be a fight here against Exist. Pops the Blade Mail duel, and Yole's going down.
Wow. Ogre coming in for the big old smack as well. With the Walrus Whacker. I don't think he actually has it, but Exist was maybe looking for a little bit more. We'll back off now. Yule Scepter by God onto the Tide just to run away after the Gush was thrown out. And they won't chase further. They don't want to go past the river. After all, they don't have their Witch Doctor, or they don't have the Trolls with them, so they're not going to go in for anything more than that pickoff that they find. Or really the turnaround, because it was Virtus.Pro trying to catch off the Legion by that dire secret shot.
So now I would have to say that this Huskar, who was acting as kind of a mid-game carry, is now being dwarfed, and they need to get more out of the Legion Commander. 66 dual stacks, not too bad as far as the damage output there, especially with a DD rune bottle. But Exist needs to keep winning duels, because late game the Huskar isn't going to do enough, and they need this dual core to really be effective. That or a Refresher Orb on Chill, which should be probably his next item.
Yep, you'd normally expect that to be coming up on the Tidehunter. The Force Staff also gives him that nice mana pool with the Arcane Boot, so he'll probably have the banana. There we go. It's a banana, except it gives you mana. The banana. But yeah.
Arcane Boots on your Venomancer? Got it.
Yeah, there you go. The banana. We see that a lot, actually. Core Venom, fairly popular these days. But either way, Force Staff on Tide. Maybe not the most common thing, but always good. Adds so much utility to your team.
And the mana.
Yes. I believe tried to cover that.
Aghanim's up on the Omni Knight, Global Guardian Angel, and no forms of Purge. So that means that it is going to be for 8 seconds? No, 9 seconds. It's a +2. So 9-second immunity to physical damage. The Burning Spear will still hurt. Maledict and Cask will still inflict damage. Of course, Ravage and Gush will. And the Ogre's spells will hurt. But, and just to round it out, because I've said everything else, overwhelming odds does magic damage. But, for the most part, they're not going to be taking much. They're going to be able to survive through it with the GAs, and it's going to be hard for Goomba to find kills early in the fight unless they initiate with Blink Duel on the Omni Knight.
Probably definitely the hero to look for with that duel if you can find it before the GA. They're smoked up now. Virtus.Pro, they're the ones looking to find the pickoffs right now. God and John, I'm actually on the front lines, kind of up into these new trees and these paths. The repel being put out constantly. Only 2 seconds of downtime on rank 4. D-Gen's also all the way up at rank 4. They'll find Edie. They're going to silence him up, but here comes a big Ravage from Chill. Now the
Nice
GA. It's not onto everybody. A creep wave and I think 3 heroes. Can they bring down RMN, though? It's not enough. Exist will fall. That's the Legion Commander who really needs to get those duels. And the winner is actually God, so he gets free 18 damage as the team fight continues. Goomba, everybody falling. The physical damage is too much. Picks up an ultra kill and make it a double for the Huskar from the grave with the spear damage. But the Exorcism Death Prophet in this team fight, and they find the jump there. Really, really good for Virtus.Pro.
The Guardian Angel Aghanim Scepter just won them the game, like, period. They had a double damage on that Legion. The G would have been decimated if he wasn't affected by the Omni ulti, but he took 0 damage during the entire duel and actually won it with the Exorcism Spirits. So, pretty good time to have a repel GA on you, and they're able to just absolutely destroy Goomba. It was a gimmicky-ish lineup, and they needed to execute it perfectly. They're still not out of this because the Tier 3 and the racks are still standing, and the Tide could be their saving grace with a Refresher Orb, but still a decent bit off, and they have yet to leave the base.
And they'll even find another pickoff there on Fire. I mean, the Ogre trying to do what he can to slow this down, but I don't think just walking in and dying is really that call. I mean, there are no buybacks. He doesn't have one right now. A couple were used, actually, a while ago, about 6 minutes, 20 seconds ago. Huskar had bought back for that fight
got a
over
new
in
duel.
this vicinity, and they're looking for the duel right now. Exist jumps in, but the Cyclone up there on the Chill. They're not going to be able to find anybody, yo.
They got the Death Ward in 4 seconds. If they can
what
just
a
wait a
cast.
second, blink duel, this should be Death Ward kill, but we'll see.
Yeah, onto God. That's definitely the target to go for right now. Chill is jumping in. No Ravage, but still. And nice. It's a winner. Getting that damage. Well, you don't get it back, but some 18 more damage going out there for the Legion Commander. God will keep his 18, and looks like this Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane is going to fall shortly after poor old Jotum.
So, they do clean it up here. Fighting in between the Exorcisms, in between the GAs, is how they're going to win these fights in pre-refresher on the Tide. So they take the Tier 1 bottom, and yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good hero, guys. If you didn't know, he kicks some ass, seriously. He doesn't get much as far as a assist count. He's like 2, 4, and 7, and he's contributed a lot more fights than that. But yeah, the scoreboard is lying when it talks about contribution. It's all about what he does to keep his allies alive and to keep his enemies down. They're gonna go for Roche here pretty easily, though, and with the fast attacks of the Huskar, and of course with the strong attacks of the Legion, they will bring it down and get Aegis up on whoever they choose.
Yep, Roshan going to go down. Oh, maybe not, Sadoy! It's the Jakiro Earthshaker combo. It's caused a lot of problems for Goomba. Roshan will be killed by the Dire, and Huskar will pick up the Aegis of the Immortal.
Can you imagine if that was dunked on?
Might go down. Yeah, that would have just
got
been
the slam?
unreal. I guess he must have taken some damage trying to go in for that. Huskar going to finish up the heart here. Chill going to go in and blinking away from that Gush. Exist also going out that way, trying to find the duel on the Jakiro. I hear God, though. He's popping off his ultimate. The Exorcism goes out. That'll bring down the Huskar. Going to respawn full HP, but there's a lot of physical damage to be dealt with. He'll blink away off the respawn very, very quickly. RMN going to go ahead and jump out of there. Ravage is online right now, so the Tide could go ahead and re-engage this if he wants to. Ice Path thrown out. Nice force dash.
Silence. He got hit by the silence.
He'll life break on, going into Sadoy, but the physical damage is too much. And now they're going to throw out the Ravage, and here, oh my gosh, the Exorcism, the remaining Exorcism Spirits doing so much, and they just go in a little out of sync on the side of Goomba. Actually, the loss is not too bad. You lose the Tide and the Huskar. You could have lost a lot more, but Jakiro and Earthshaker making those big plays again.
Yeah, certainly turning it into something that they could really savage with the fact that they were able to take out the Aegis and go right back into it. Ward up on the high ground, maybe they didn't see that and get some good intel from it. But the big thing, Exorcism ending right before Ogre's TP began, so they weren't able to get the damage they needed to finish him off. He gets out, but I don't know if they're that confident still. The Tide has what on the... He doesn't have anything on the courier. Where does the gold go?
To the fishies.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's all he's got is a quarterstaff. He's been dying a couple times recently, so obviously that costs a decent amount at level 15. But I think it's 450 gold lost there. But in either case, this Death Prophet is absolutely immense now. With the help of the Omni Knight, it seems immortal already. But just looking at the items, you've got Yule's Heart, soon to be Shiva's or Hex. It's going to be extremely difficult for Huskar to have any chance of fighting, even with this heart.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big. Could even go, I guess you could go Shivas as well. No one else working towards it. I guess. What do Omni, you just wanted to see the refresher next? Yeah, okay. Well, question answered, Oblivion Staff in the stash, so no need to theory about his other item choices. I don't think there's much need to in the first place.
Yeah, it's a game-breaking.
Yeah, it's really good. And also global with the Ags. Don't worry, chat. I do know these things, but... yeah, mechanism coming out. It's going to be a little bit late for fire, but they're feeling like they need some extra sustain in these team fights. They need the heal and the extra armor that comes from the active from that mech, because as it stands, God is just ripping them apart. This exorcism has been too much for Goomba to handle.
And they get to play aggressively with their buyback gold. They can buy out for the Shivas and be like, okay, well, we're going to keep the Death Prophet alive. That's no problem at all, as long as we have the cooldowns, and GA is a backup in 15. So G should have no problem buying the Shiva's recipe in just a moment here, and that is just too much to deal with as far as I'm concerned. If the refresher was up now rather than in like 8 minutes for the Tide, it would be different, but they've got one Ravage to rule them all. They have to duel, again, they just have to duel the Omni. They have to get that off before the fight begins, and they have to make it do something for them. The BKB will at least prevent Yule Scepters from counteracting the duel, but it doesn't automatically win it for them.
What's going to bind them? If the Ravage is to rule them all, what's the binding factor here for Goomba? The duel?
Yeah, I would
The
say
life
that
break?
keeps everybody pretty close together. Life break's not bad either, but I just don't know if in the darkness they're going to find them. Breaking out of the smoke, going on a shot.
Actually, they will. It is daytime, unfortunately. Our reference breaks down, but here we go. Fisher, Ice Bath, Macropyre, everything, those team fight controls. Now the exorcism is there. GA is actually down for... No, okay, it's down because it was just used. And there's the Ravage coming out from Chill. Onto God. Can they get him? The refresher on that Omni ain't done yet, so they're not going to have 2 GAs. The Death Ward doesn't quite bring down God. Exist still chasing right now. It make it the double kill. Could be a triple as they're going to go ahead and turn around onto this. There's the press, the attack. Exist is going to go into the tree lines. It's not safe. He's going to try to TP out. There's too much damage that close to the exorcism. The Death Prophet, the witchcraft. It's too strong. They can't stand up to it.
She hasn't even been healed by the exorcism yet. Now the ghost returned, but she already got full HP from a regen rune she had bottled from before, and that Shiva's guard mitigating so much damage. She takes only 41% physical damage, and she lived with like 200 HP. Like, that wasn't even the Omni Knights doing there, because the Guardian Angel was already used very early in the fight. G just too damn tanky, too damn farm. Hell, he's going for a refresher, maybe. He's sold the Oblivion, but he's considering it. No matter the case, he's just too damn big. They cannot bring G down, and Goomba, they're on their last legs here.
Yeah, apparently I can't see Guardian Angel, because, yeah, I used it at the start of that team fight. I'm struggling. Tier 3 tower, they'll fall on liquid fire. This Tier 3 tower is struggling a lot more and isn't going to be around to tell anybody about it. The glyph, actually, the glyph is available. They'll save it. Still, down to 270, not quite into 9 range. Not that you really want to deny your Tier 3s anyways. And the Heart, the Shiva's Guard, God, so hard to kill. Goomba get close, but there are no cigars to be found. John, I'm going to go ahead and ward up very aggressively, maybe on the new cliff further back by the Tier 2. I think that's where he's heading on this Sky Wrath. And, I mean, look at, they're already super aggressive. They got the wards in the base, and by the way, they have the Squirrel ward, as mentioned last game. So 2 very aggressive lanes up in the top, and now towards the bottom lane. They'll go for the... I can't even tell. Are there... That's just 1 ward. No, there's 2 squirrels.
There's 2. Sentry and Observer. What you do is you put the Sentry down and see if they have an Obs there. If they do, then you don't want to put your Obs down because they're just going to deward immediately. So you just walk away.
Well,
and they have to deward thinking you put an Obs down. But if you don't see Obs, then you can, of course, put the Observer and it'll be covered. You can assume that it's going to stay for more than a minute.
It's actually the best ward ever. I didn't notice the hummingbirds.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
You know what I love?
What?
I said, do you know what I love?
Everything?
Yes.
Excellent.
Look at God's net worth. He's like almost 7,000 head of this Huskar now.
Yeah, the Huskar just can't farm. Like, look at his creep kills. 177. He probably will find like 200 by the end of it. So it's just like, you can't farm with this here. You have to get kills. And honestly, a lot of his kill tips have been thwarted here. He's died 8 times for 12 kills. It's just not the tempo that you're looking for. I think the pick can work, but the Omni Knight was such a smart counter pick, and BZZ has played it extremely well here. Refresher already en route.
Pretty up and down roller coaster game for the Huskar. It looked like he was doing nothing, And then he like went crazy, looked like he was going to carry the game away, and then suddenly right back to not really being able to do anything with this Aghanim Scepter pickup. And now the Refresher's there on the Omnite, and actually on the back line. Yol going to find out Exist. Exist looking for the duel. Will have the BKB up and try to TP out. Is the physical damage here?
Oh.
Death Prophet, the spirits were a little busy elsewhere. You can't quite control those, and they're going to run very, very quickly back towards the racks.
Their last issue command was all the way over to the Legion Commander, so they're going to have to make their way back, and all they get out of is a range Rax for the Exorcism. Not too happy with that, but at least they have the double Guardian Angel to cover their retreat if necessary. There's no way the Goomba fights in that effectively unless they pick off somebody solo.
Huskar maybe looking for the jump here.
Oh, you can see him, but that's not worth it. You're just stuck on the cliff now for your Blink Dagger cooldown.
Yeah. That's alright, at least he had the time to farm during that. Now the Blink Dagger's off cooldown. He's good. Back to freedom. Sadoy, wow, Veil at Discord right now. With how much work Sadoy and the Earthshaker Yol have been doing, the Fisher Ice Path Macro Pyres into the Echo Slams potentially with the Veil, like,
yeah.
Woo! Don't want to be Goomba.
Still, like a lot of games, I would say Veil of Discord is insanely good on Jakiro. In this game, you're up against a 8-second BKB of the Legion, and the Huskar isn't dying to your magic damage, Veil or not. It's not additive, it's multiplicative. And Berserker's Blood is going to overpower that pretty well. But it's still awesome, and we might be seeing like the Witch Doctor or Ogre killed off very quickly under the effects of the Veil.
All right, Goomba doing what they can to try to bring down these towers. About half HP on the bottom tier 2. This will be the first tier 2 that they're going to be able to claim. God, though, running in very quickly with the Yule Scepter to start things off. Ice Path, everything
They didn't
right
think
now.
he had Exorcism, but he had the Refresher Orb.
That's a big item pickup that they had no idea about. Explains why God was so antsy to run in there and put someone up in the air with his Yule Scepter. Still going to go for the chase. Exorcism online. Still half of its life available. Some creep's going to get in the way of the spirits, but I don't think RMN is getting out of this one. There is no chance. And actually, as they retreat out of here, Roshan will spawn. So Aegis and Cheese. This is the third Rosh. Big potential here, and I think VP are probably going to be the ones to get it with this Huskar down, or at least maybe force his buyback.
Yeah, even with a buyback, they'd have to have the Refresher tied for the fight,
Yeah,
and he's not
close
there
enough.
yet. Does he need 450 for the Oblivion and then 1875 for the Recipe? Is that right?
Sounds right. Yeah, so he's not finding it by the time
1800 for the
we're
Recipe.
going to go ahead and go for it. I also thought it was 1875, but
Maybe they changed it.
yeah,
but-
they might have done that somewhat recently.
or 2 years ago. My brain didn't work.
Yeah, or, you know, whatever. We've been playing Dota a long time. Still feels like the same game, even though there's been tons of changes. All right, bottom lane. Rax will fall without really anything flashy going on.
Nice
Nice
repel.
repel. That's going to dodge out that Ravage, so Chill now just going to have to go ahead and retreat. Still dead. Huskar does not want to buy back. Whoop, did not mean to do that. He's dead there down in the bottom lane. He's resting in peace until he buys back. Now, maybe in a bit of agony as won't find anything. That buyback was...
Yeah, and they didn't even have to
Not
force the
required.
it still refreshes, so they're going to be doing something within the next 2 minutes. That's what that means. Otherwise, he would save the Refresher Orb cooldown. Actually, the Refresher or Guardian Angel cooldown is only like 35 less than that Refresher Orb, so I guess it's not that big of a time loss. But anyways, their double ultimate will take about 30 more seconds than the single ultimate would have. Either way, they're going back out. The smoke behind, trying to bait it, but it's pretty clear. Ty just farming as fast as his little anchor can take him, but it's not going to be in time.
Sadoy bringing down the house with the liquid fire and the repel. Look at RMN, though, in the trees with the blink, with the heart as well finished up. Looking for the blink to the life break, if he can
Goomba
find
saw
it. His
the
target's Omni Knight, and let's look where Omni Knight is. He's way playing far back. I mean, he's got a global ultimate. He doesn't even have to be in... He could be sitting in base, honestly, at this point. But I think VP are strong enough that not going to really matter. I don't know if they even kill the Omni Knight. Can they jump on him? No, he'll get off the GA. He's still at full HP, and now they're going to have to retreat. Armen trying to focus down somebody. You can still stack up the Burning Spear damage and get some that way, but the physical, very, very mitigated, and it's an unstoppable streak right now for God. He's 16, 4, and 7. Edie is also going to go down, and transitioning over to find Chill. Another refresher going off. The nice sparkles there, and another exorcism as a result of that. A little bit of witchcraft as the tower and the tier 3 probably going to be falling. They'll actually just start diving the tier 4s. Why not? Edie just bought back, killed Be Dead for another 80 seconds, and I would expect to hear from Goomba. This is the last game of the day, by the way, guys.
That is a sad Tidehunter stash. 400 gold away. He's selling everything. Sell the 4-step.
Sell the mana boots. Don't sell the mana boots. Oh, no, he didn't sell them. Sorry. He just dropped them.
So he's got 15 seconds for a refresher, double ultimate. He's been working towards it all game, but by the time it hits the field, the racks will be dead.
Dude, that was intelligent. He disassembled the boots, picked it up, sold the brown boots, kept the energy booster because he needs the 250 mana, and he should have enough now. But this is the big play. Can he go in and make the difference with it? One Ravage! There's the duel started. 2 Ravages! Actually, Johnham won't even get hit by that last one. Nice 4-staff. They got it onto 3. No Guardian Angel here, but doesn't matter. Edie calling out the GG. And it's going to be Virtus.Pro to take it with that Omni Knight core pick. Brilliant stuff up against the Huskar. And this game was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it nevertheless. I thought the draft was really smart, but that last pick was just too good. The Timbersaw ban, but the Omni pick. That was the 2 heroes that could dismantle the strategy of Goomba Gaming, and dismantle it they did. Those Guardian Angels were incredible. The Purifications caused Huskar quite a few issues, and you just see it. It just didn't work. They had a lineup that definitely had some potential, a few gimmicks here and there, but overall, I like the idea. It just didn't work here. Maybe in another draft, maybe against a less smart drafter, but BZZG, they know what they want, and they draft up the Omni for a core role set with the right item build. None of that right-click nonsense. This is how you carry Omni Knight.
Well, we know who it wouldn't have worked against either, that Huskar, because Mushi would have banned it out back in his days on Team Malaysia. Anyways, that's all we got here for Starladder today. Looks like the 3rd day was the charm, as we finally had all games scheduled for the day get played. It was a lot of fun. The VODs will be up not too long, maybe like an hour or 2 after you see the stream go down, pending some YouTube uploads. So you can go ahead and find them there on youtube.com/beyondthesummit. You were watching here all day, twitch.tv/DotaStarladder_EN. Make sure to give it a follow or a subscribe. You can also buy that Season 11 ticket for Starladder. Make those teams a little bit happier. And if you want to make your casters a bit happier, you can follow us on Twitter as well, at Helium, Blaze, at Blaze Casting, and our Statsman at Cart Dota. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stick around. I might throw a Street Fighter game on or 2, or just send it over to my personal Twitch, also Helium. Peace out, guys.